Beep, 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 beep. Morning, Jester, etc. Hello, how are we? Buy me a coffee. Come become a warrior teacher. The adverts are out. Meeting on the 2nd. Excited. New peeps to build the network that help each other. We are a network of resistors. Come and join us. Okay, so what have we got for you today? Let's do some royal arse. The king is in the all together. Right, so let's do some royal arse, okay? Because there's a couple of royal arses that are being asked about all along for a very long time now. I speak, of course, of Prince Harry and Meghan. Why can't they just go away? Just go away. Just go on. Is it me or do you look like the milkman? Right, okay, so now, right? Prince Harry and Meghan, who are, they're a particularly nasty pair from what I can gather. I mean, they're sort of, you know, chowing down on the news knob whenever they can get it, aren't they, really, these horrible people? But now here they are, they're entering the gender wars, and they're doing so with great vigour. So what is it they're up to, and why should we care? Well, Archetypes podcast has partnership with Global Boyhood Initiative, which encourages primary school children to question gender norms. Prince Harry and Meghan back that group that accuses parents of gendering unborn children. See? Gendering. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex, right? Weirdos. Duke and Duchess of Sussex are backing a campaign group working in use-case calls that accuses parents of gendering their unborn children. Nutters back nutters. Royal nutters back other nutters who ain't royal. Royal nutters. That's what we got, right? So they're using their power and their social credit to infiltrate queer theory and gender ideology into schools, that using a group who accuses parents of gendering their unborn children. Apparently the group, the Global Boyhood Initiative, the group which aims to promote gender equity by fostering positive masculinity in boys and men. They're insane. The Global Boyhood Initiative has created a curriculum which is being piloted in London schools and encourages primary school children to question gender norms. Where's the government? The State of UK Boys, a report published last year by the group, suggests that families and schools, this is unreal, are gender and heterosexuality factors. And gender is not tied to sex organs. Sorry to break it to you, kids, but you're wrong, right? Now, definitions-wise, it gets difficult because they use this word gender. So I'll give you my take, right? Sex, immutable. Sex roles, biological, but some we can, opt out of some, we can't opt out of others, right? Gender, unreality, right? But intrinsically rooted in the concept of what male and female do, right? So it's rooted in the reality of male and female, but becomes unreality because it puts expectations on men and women that society shouldn't put. But it doesn't change the fact that men are different from women and women are different from men, no matter how much anybody wants it to be that. The report also states, so gender is not tied to sex organs, so it is tied to sex organs. You can't separate it, sorry, there's only two sexes, therefore there's only two genders, as you call them. What they're talking about is gender identity, so it's sleight of hand, right? So sex, immutable. Sex roles, yeah, obviously connected to biology, but we can transcend some of them. Gender doesn't exist, right? Gender identity, which is what they're really talking about, exists only in the febrile mind of cultists and fools who haven't thought about it. This is members of the royal family doing this. Two absolute lugnuts. Right. The report also states that parents may begin gendering their children even before birth, based on the identification of external genitalia in scans. Including through elaborate gender reveal parties and a stream of purchases along gendered lines. Really? Good. What do you want to do with them? What do these people want to do with parents that do that? Like, oh, yeah, well, great, okay, it's great. I'm going to get a pink outfit because, pink outfit because we know it's going to be a girl. We'll get a blue outfit because we know it's going to be a boy. I'm going to paint the walls green because it's a girl. I'm going to paint them black because it's a boy. This is all the sorts of decisions that people will make, and they've been making them for millennia. What do you want to do with them? Because if people are left alone, that's what they'll do. If people are left alone, whether you like it or not, if people are left alone, that's what they will do. They will do things that men like to do and do things like women like to do. And in most cases, not all men like things and women like people, right? This is not arguable because the science is in. Now, that's, that part of the bell curve. So if men want to do men things and women want to do women things as we see them, do it. If you want to do it the other way around, do it. I don't care. Nobody should care. Be what you want to be, right? If you want to be an engineer, be an engineer. If you want to be a carer, be a carer. The problem's not whether you want to be one or the other. The problem is that we value one more than the other. That's the problem. This doesn't help. Okay? This doesn't help at all. Gender and heterosexual factories, and gender is not tied to organs. It adds, well, the family is a place of nurturing and support for many children. See, they can't help themselves. It's the best one, by the way. It can also be the worst. But that's what you get, generally, isn't it? Good things, bad things. Good chocolate, bad chocolate. Yeah, good steak, bad steak. Good families, bad families. Good people, bad people. And everything in between. We're not all perfect. We're all going to make mistakes. While the family is a place of nurturing and support for many children, it can also be where gender and sexuality are regulated and policed. They honest to God think they're living in the 1980s, don't they? As many of our interviewees and much research suggests. The report argues that the statement "boys will be boys" could be dangerous. You bet your bottom dollar it's dangerous. It objects to public representation of boys and boyhood in opposition to and distinct from girls. Why? Why? We all know the difference. It's not socially constructed. We all know the difference. How can it be socially constructed? We've been doing it for years. Sex predates Saturn's rings, you arse. It is said that this fixed conception is particularly problematic when it implies that male violence or harassment of women springs from innate impulses. Who's saying that? So what they're saying is that it's dangerous, but of course what's happening is really that, it implies that male violence or harassment of women springs from innate impulses. Nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying that. There's no innate impulse. Who says that? Who are these people talking to? It is said that this fixed conception is particularly problematic. Is it? David Bartlett, co-author of the report, is the project lead on the group's UK initiative, which argues that we need a generation of boys who are not influenced by restrictive gender stereotypes. You're not going to get that while gender identity exists, you nuts. And can build a sustained, healthy, respectful, caring relationship. What the hell are they talking about? The hell are they talking about? Most people I know have that. Right? Everybody has problems. Who's got the perfect marriage? Who's got the perfect relationship? They are sick. Sick utopians. And they're coming for your children. And they're using royalty to do it. Children aged between 7 and 11 will learn about the role gender norms play in their lives through activities-based questioning and critical reflection. When they say critical there, they don't mean critical thinking. They mean critical reflection, critical social justice. According to the group's website, they will also be encouraged to explore equitable, inclusive and non-violent attitudes and behaviours in a safe and comfortable space and internalise these new gender attitudes and norms by applying them in their relationships and lives. This is an incredibly dangerous thing to do, and I'll tell you why. First of all, equitable and inclusive are two words used exclusively by the cult now. They mean nothing. If you've got an organisation or any individual that tells you that equitable and inclusive is a good thing, they're wrong. It is now simply those two words are only used by cultists or by corporate organisations pushing this agenda. Okay, so bear that in mind. However, what they're saying is that the fact that boys can be more rambunctious or even violent, that we must make sure that they're not. We must have an equitable, inclusive and non-violent, which means they've got to be the same as women, or girls have got to be the same as boys. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to even it out. Let me tell you this, because it's something really stupid to do. In China right now, they are defeminising their men. Now, what possible reason could you have for defeminising men? When would you need your men to be at the most dangerous, to be at their most violent, the most extreme end of what men are capable of? War. You better hope that these people messing around with what boys are like don't go too far. Because they don't intend to pick the ones that are a problem. And let's be honest, we know the ones that are a problem for 2 or 3. They intend to pick every boy. They intend to pick every boy. And insane. It comes amid a reported rise in demands for schools seeking to address toxic masculinity and misogyny in the wake of toxic influences such as Andrew Tate. However, concerns have been raised about external groups teaching about relationship and sex education. It goes on then to talk about Tanya Carter over at Safe Schools Alliance. It mentions Miriam Cates. This is a very dangerous organisation that these people are supporting. And let's get it absolutely straight. The carte blanche idea that toxic masculinity is prevalent is dangerous. It's as dangerous as saying that toxic femininity is prevalent. But I can tell you what is prevalent: toxic parents. Not actual parents, but toxic parenting as the same kind of archetype as masculine and feminine are. In that what's happening is you've got the very, very worst of toxic parenting. Well, we must flatten everything out. Everything's got to be equal. Everything's got to be the same. We've all got to get on with each other. It's that liberal nonsense and communist nonsense. Communists, liberals, corporatists, that's what you're seeing come together. And it's going to form something nasty and something new. And China is defeminizing their men. You better make sure that you don't do that to our men here. Right? Because what I want is men who have character, who are able to control themselves, but if needs be, will fight to the death. That's the men you want. Be careful when you start tinkering with reality. It has a tendency to come back and bite you on the bum. And the very fact that they're in bed with people who have never lived in reality in their life should give us all pause for thought. Harry and Meghan can fuck off. See you later.